like to invite you all to be a part of our story and review our first ever video annual report for Wave Foundation at Newport Aquarium. In 2016, we had an excellent year. We created change like never before. We inspired community members. We gave opportunities to interns and volunteers to come be a part of our Wave family. I invite you all to be a part of this video experience reviewing 2016, a historic and exciting year for Wave Foundation.
The Wave Foundation is the not-for-profit arm of the Newport Aquarium, and the goal of the Wave Foundation is to educate and excite the community about the conservation of marine life.
We believe that community change begins with education, and without education, we can't start that cycle of change. To get people to care about wildlife, to change their behaviors ever so slightly, to be able to make a positive contribution to global conservation and saving wildlife.
I think a great example of that is the expansion and growth of the Wave on Wheels program. And in the last 2 years, the Wave on Wheels program has reached over 100,000 people in the marketplace, which is incredible to think. But what's even more spectacular is now, with the addition of our second vehicle, just in 2017 alone, we're anticipating to reach over 150,000 people in our community.
Our education team has impacted several communities, lots of counties in Kentucky. I think we're already halfway through Kentucky counties. There's just a few more to touch on. We've gone as far south as Tennessee, as far east as DC. We're out there in the community educating about aquatic life, conservation, and what we can do.
Our shark and ray carts offer something that no other zoo and aquarium offers right now, and that's the ability to load up real live sharks, real live stingrays into transport coolers, load them on a very large van, and drive them right to the school, the senior center, the library, the daycare, unload them, we plug them in with the whole filtration system running underneath, and it's just absolutely incredible.
Our penguin program that we're able to take out African penguins, a critically endangered species, is amazing. So just to be able to work with these animals is awesome, and to have them be comfortable around people and have kids touching them and experience it and learning about that is one of a kind.
We believe that every child in our region should be inspired by the wildlife at the Newport Aquarium, no matter their socioeconomic status. Therefore, if a kid cannot afford to come to the Newport Aquarium and be inspired, then we will bring some of those animals off-site and into those classrooms of underprivileged, underrepresented, and under-resourced students in our community, and it's absolutely rewarding. We can bring those experiences right into their classrooms, and we can bring science alive. And when we bring a live animal into a classroom, kids are glued, they're engaged, and the first thing they do is they ask questions.
Somebody once told me that conservation starts with education, and that is something we firmly believe here at the Wave Foundation.
Without Wave, there really wouldn't be an opportunity to learn firsthand about aquatic conservation in the tri-state area. We don't have access to the oceans, we don't have access to the beaches, but we do have access to these wonderful animals.
So I think giving them just that hands-on experience helps foster a relationship with those for conservation of those animals.
Yeah, there's many conservation efforts that Wave has done in 2016. One is the Aquarium Conservation Partnership. This is an official AZA program, and that's a collection of 20 public aquariums that have come together primarily to focus on ocean conservation. And last year we were a key player in the microbeads legislation that passed at the federal level to eliminate microbeads, as well as some of the national marine parks that President Obama has passed.
I'd say the highlight for me was the trip to Washington, D.C. and having our mobile shark cart right there in the House of Congress, and all these politicians coming down and sticking their hands in the water and touching the sharks, talking to the Wave Foundation about ocean conservation and microbeads. and the effect of pollution and shark finning on sharks.
Every single outreach we do, we are educating all of the kids about how they can help conserve these wild animals all over the world and just in their backyard by telling them simple things like using a plastic bag if you recycle it, or using reusable grocery bags.
If you can see it and you can touch it and you can say, wow, if this animal eats that trash bag, they're gonna die. Okay, I'm gonna recycle it. We don't want it to just be like, I touched a penguin when I was at Wave. I touched a penguin when I was at Wave and I learned how to care about them and how to support their conservation.
Conservation is core to our mission at Wave Foundation. One way that we fund conservation efforts are through our fundraising events. So we've got 3 huge events. First one is our Naughty Night, short for nautical. We celebrate ocean conservation and we clear out the aquarium. It's the first Friday in October every single year. And in 2016, we were able to raise $75,000 thanks to all of our in-kind sponsorships. So you get dressed up, you come into the aquarium after hours, they've got food stations set up throughout the aquarium, we've got live music, we've got a beautiful silent auction, and then we also have bar stations and drink stations. So people are able to come in, listen to live music, have fun, celebrate, and all the contributions from that evening go directly to support our education and conservation initiatives and effectively drive our mission. Our second big event that we throw annually is our David Fulcher's celebrity golf outing, Putt for Penguins.
At the Wave Foundation, we're about offering unique opportunities, and Putt for Penguins is the only golf outing, and I've played in hundreds of golf outings, that literally has penguins on the golf course, reptiles on the golf course, sharks on the golf course. But then we also have different food vendors on the golf course as well. We have different drink vendors on the course. We have a celebrity golf outing. So literally we have a celebrity with each and every group. And right now it's at Wetherington Country Club, which is a beautiful golf course and country club up in Westchester, Ohio. And it's just an incredible day for education and conservation.
Our third event is called Crop for Conservation, okay? When I first came in, I was like, all right, I get volunteerism, I understand education, I understand conservation. But what is this Crop for Conservation?
Crop for Conservation is a weekend scrapbooking event. It was a Friday and Saturday in January. And it started because Jenny Graber and myself, we both like to scrapbook. A few years ago, thought it'd be fun to just get a group of ladies together. And it does kind of sound like an interesting event. You know, why would you have a scrapbooking event to raise money for conservation? So all those funds raised go to help support our conservation and education programs.
Putt for Penguins generated about $25,000 to support our education and conservation programs, and Crop for Conservation this year, we cleared $20,000. It was absolutely incredible. And next year it's just going to be bigger and it's just going to be better.
We would not be who we are today if we didn't have our community backing us, participating with us, and helping us. We roughly have between 450 to 500 volunteers that help annually. Active volunteers that come every week, every month, we're looking at about 300.
We are always looking for people that are passionate and dedicated to animal conservation, animal education. There's so many different opportunities for you to get involved.
One of our big opportunities is to dive in a shark tank like the one behind me. There's nowhere else like this in the area. Volunteers get to work with the only shark cart and ray cart in the world, basically. And there's a reason for that. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it to see these people get so excited about the animals. For the greater Cincinnati area to be able to offer that is a really big thing.
Some of our animal care interns that help our husbandry staff, our animal care staff, they do a whole bunch of things. It's definitely an educational learning experience, going from food prep to habitat to mudding an exhibit and learning to build the exhibit, plumbing, all these wonderful things that they want to do for a future career.
And so having the aquarium and having the ability to come here and volunteer and get hands-on, because every volunteer opportunity we have is hands-on. You're going to be in the saltwater, you're going to be running programs, and you get to participate in it, and there's nowhere else like it in the area.
And without their volunteer support, the hours of commitment and our internships, the way that they support and help us drive our mission, it's invaluable. our most important currency is our time, and they give us their time.
If you want to volunteer for Wave Foundation, the first step is to go to wavefoundation.org. Click on Volunteer and Intern, and you'll see a whole slew of different opportunities that we're recruiting for. Fill out an application, make sure it's completed. It'll come directly to me, we'll review it, and we'll try and get you on board as soon as possible.
In 2017, I'm excited about a whole lot of stuff that WAVE's doing. Literally, our camp programs are growing, our job shadow programs are going, our community outreach scholarship fund is growing, our living curriculum initiative, which hasn't been done before. Our outreach programs in general are just booming.
The big thing with 2017 is our stingrays, which is awesome, and we got a new van, and we're hopefully going to keep growing our outreach program, so I'm really excited about that. And summer camp is growing as well, which is going to be pretty amazing.
Camp WAVE is an incredible, unique program. It's a camp for kids from kindergarten up to 8th grade.
We have those kids here for 5 days straight, learning about conservation action, learning about these wonderful animals, and creating a whole bunch of wonder and inspiration. And as soon as they come through the threshold of the aquarium doors, all those social norms disappear, and kids are focused on wildlife.
So not only are we having 9 weeks of summer camp this year, we're also going to have 1 week of winter camp in between of Christmas and New Year's. And then in 2018, we're going to have 2 weeks of spring break camp as well.
And then we also have a new program in 2017. It's called the Living Curriculum Initiative, which is going to be the first time that we really intermingle the best resources in informal education and a focus on student achievement in science and formal education. So by combining these two schools of thought and opportunities, we're going to better our community learners like it hasn't been done ever before. We have joined forces with Cincinnati Public, and we're going to bring in our traveling aquariums into classrooms, not once, not twice, but 3 times, for students to be able to engage in authentic inquiry science and STEM education and create their own scientific investigations and create their own knowledge.
I think what we're doing there is we're really testing how we can get involved with schools on a long-term basis. We're going to be starting with 1 grade and following them for 3 years so that we can really track the educational growth that we can attribute to WAVE.
In 5 years, I would love to see WAVE Foundation written into the Kentucky and Ohio State Science Standards so that the WAVE Foundation is where you can go for any assistance and resources and programming with your life science curriculums.
The second program that we have on the docket is our Career Exploration Initiative, which I'm really excited about. We've got an opportunity to work with not only foundations, but also students in Northern Kentucky and Greater Cincinnati, and inspire juniors and seniors in high school to pursue their instinct to go into STEM fields.
So I'm excited about the growth of WAVE in 2017. We're going to go a lot of places, and we're going to hopefully get pretty big around here.
Many of our successes from 2016 were built on the shoulders of giants, and those giants are our funders.
The funds and grant money that we received in 2016 were so generous and so unexpected. We can dream of having funding like that, but nobody really expects it.
Their generosity not only propelled WAVE Foundation, but created change and unprecedented experiences for hundreds and thousands of individuals in our community. A sincere thank you to all of our donors, supporters, constituents, and partners. Every single dollar makes a difference in driving our mission every day and making our world a better place. Without our donors, we would not be able to create those unprecedented experiences, and more importantly, we would not be able to impact our community in valuable ways.
On behalf of the Board of Directors and myself, I'd like to thank the community for the remarkable generosity you've shown us in 2016. Your donations are translating into meaningful experiences.